Playing your retro game collection on the go has never been easier. Let's talk about that. Hello and welcome to Modern Broadcast. This episode is going to be a little bit long. It's a tutorial video setting up the WebRcade. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First, what we're going to want to do is go to WebRcade.com. I'll have a link down in the description below. Once here, go ahead and click on Build. We'll see here it automatically loaded the default template here. So let's go ahead and click on New. And let's clone default feed. Alright, now that we have the clone here, we're going to hit this edit button, and we'll just call this Modern Arcade. Thumbnail we'll get to in a little bit, same with the background. For now, let's just go ahead and delete the long title here and say OK. You see here, now it changed to Modern's Arcade. If we click on categories, we can see Atari 2600, 78, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Master System, Genesis, and Sega Game Gear. And when you actually click on items, that's when you can specify what game goes into which console. So let's go ahead and jump on over to our desktop and get this set up so that way we could add more titles. Alright, so here we are on our desktop, and I find that this best works with Dropbox. So I went ahead and signed into my Dropbox and got a couple files here for Game Boy Advance, Color, Genesis, Nintendo, and Super Nintendo. Some of my own cartridges and some ROM hacks for like Pokemon games. So all I'm going to do is just drag this folder over into the Dropbox, and it will upload that file structure up into here. Okay, now that that's all done, let's go and hit refresh. And here we see files. Let's go and open that. Perfect. So let's go ahead and hop on back over to WebRcade. Alright, here we are back on Modern's Arcade, on the WebRcade feed editor. So it's really great. You can add individual files, but then you have to type in everything. Properties, the URL, thumbnail, background, where there's actually an integrated feature with Dropbox, which is why I prefer to utilize Dropbox to store everything. So just add from Dropbox, pops up this window here. As we can see, we're already in the folder. There's our arcade folder, and we're for the Nintendo Game Boy, so let's click here. I will click these so it selects these files and say choose. So it'll analyze the games and automatically scrape their title screens. So it's very handy, just very easy to kind of integrate and get started. So let's go ahead and do that with our other systems here. Let's go to Nintendo. Oops. Again, hit the three dots, add from Dropbox, and Nintendo, choose. So depending on how many game files you have, will depend on how long this takes. But there they are. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and do the other ones. Alright, so I just finished doing the 6 systems and just finished the Sega Genesis. So you see here we have Batman, the Adventures of Batman and Robin, Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3, and X-Men Clone Wars. So you'll see if we click the edit button, it gives the description, it gives the thumbnail of the title screen, and a background image, which is great. There's also some emulator options that we can force PAL version or 3-button control pads, but I don't think we really need to mess with that at all. You'll notice here on the Game Boy Advance, so I have Pokemon Liquid Crystal here, which is a ROM hack, and it does not know what this is. So we can add our own URL in order to scrape those images and get that to work. Let me show you how to do so. Alright, so here we are on Imager. It's pretty small and easy to use to upload the files. Basically what you do is you find an image, or you upload an image depending on if one's already there or if you need to do it yourself, and then just right click and then copy image address. Let's go back here to WebRcade, click edit, thumbnail, and paste that in. And there we go. You can also do so for a background image. I don't have any background images ready, but you would just do the same thing. Just go to Imager, upload a screenshot, or find one online and just right click, copy image address, and paste that there as well. So let's say OK, and we see now that it's right there. Go ahead and do one more. I have Pokemon Rocket Edition. Go to thumbnail, go back to Imager, and here it is. Just copy image address and paste. Perfect, that looks a lot better. So one thing to note, as far as like the description, thumbnails, background thumbnails, is you will have to find anyone that it doesn't actually automatically locate before you export. As soon as you export, you're stuck with how it is. You can edit it later on, but you're going to have to re-export. We'll kind of get into that in a moment. Alright, so I went ahead and uploaded some images to utilize instead of these basic ones, such as that there. So this one's for NES. Copy image address. Background and paste that there. Okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just fast forward as we continue scraping the rest of these systems. One thing to note is that all these images, the thumbnail and backgrounds, have to be 400 by 300 in the aspect ratio. Otherwise, sometimes it won't load properly. Sometimes it'll just refuse. So they all have to be in 400 by 300 for the best optimization. Alright, now that that's done, let's go ahead and test again. And head on over to Nintendo, and we'll see that we have our custom artwork. Alright, so now let's say we got all of our art ready. We scraped everything. Let's go ahead and hit save. And then what you want to do is hit export. So this is going to export a JSON file, which we'll need in order to link that and play our games on multiple devices. So now with our ModernBroadcast JSON file, what you're going to want to do is you're going to drag that and drop it into the Dropbox as well. And then we'll have to copy the link. Alright, now with the JSON file in our Dropbox, and we copied that link, there's a couple things we have to do. Let's go ahead and paste this into a notepad. And what you're going to want to delete is the question mark D1 equals 0. And then scroll over here to Dropbox, and what you're going to want to say is dl.dropbox user content. So for whatever reason, you have to do this in order for WebRcade to recognize the link and to read that JSON file. So we'll go ahead and copy that. Now with that link copied from the notepad with those edits, you're going to want to go to teeny.cc, paste the link up here, and then also optional, you can shorten it so it's teeny.cc, and this is now ModernBroadcast. Just go ahead and click shorten. There's our link. Let's copy it and head back to WebRcade. So here we are back on the WebRcade website. What you're going to want to do is hit play. Go down to categories and show feeds. Now you'll see we have one here. It says ModernBroadcast, but it says that it's local. So that means we can only play on this computer with this file. What you're going to want to do is hit add feed, then URL. And we're going to paste in our custom URL. And say OK. So if it's successful, it'll auto load in. You can verify, as we now have two. One that says local, and the other that has our web address. So to sign in on any other device, such as Android or another PC, you'll have to type in your specific web address in order to get in. So let's go ahead and click on it, click load. And everything's here. Let's go ahead and test out some Kirby's Adventure. Right now I'm using the keyboard, but I could connect a controller and it would work right away. So let's go ahead and test one more system on the computer here. Let's go ahead and head on over to Game Boy Advance, and we'll test out some Pokemon Ruby. So a really neat thing is that you can push pause here and actually save as if it was the actual cartridge. We'll go through the motions and actually save. So let's say we have to go for a bit. What we can do is we can hit escape on our keyboard, and that brings up this pause menu. Now we could just leave it like this and go do whatever we may have to do. And when we come back, we can just resume right then and there. But let's say we're going to be leaving the house for a while and we're going to shut down our computer. So let's go ahead and return to browse. And later on, we get back in, we come back, we start up our game. And there is our save file, where we can continue right where we left off, and no issues. I will say right now, there is no cloud save functionality, but I spoke with the developer for a little bit of time and discussed basically that they want to incorporate cloud saving and also more systems down the road. If you haven't checked out that video that I posted on Sunday, I strongly recommend you give it a watch. Also in that video, I go over other systems, such as I signed in with my Chromebook, I signed in with a tablet, I signed in with the RG552, and I even signed in to this with my Xbox. Now, as the video goes live, that link no longer works. All right, real quick, if you ever have any updates that you need to do for your arcade, all you need to do is go back into the build. So here we are with ModernBroadcast again. And what we're going to do is add a category. And let's say I want to separate the Pokemon ROM hacks, right? So let's go Pokemon ROM hacks. And let's get an image file. Copy image address. Paste that in. That looks perfect. So, we'll go to items. We'll go Pokemon ROM hacks. And we will add from Dropbox. Okay, so let's go to arcade. And I already made a file in our Dropbox called Pokemon ROM hacks. And I just put that Liquid Crystal and Rocket Edition in there. Say okay. Alright, so I'm not going to bother updating the thumbnails for these guys, as we already went over that earlier, but what you're going to want to do, you're not going to want to have to redo all of that setup again, of copy link and the tiny CC and the URL link. So what you're going to want to do is hit save. And override existing, say yes. Then you're going to click export. So that's going to give us our ModernBroadcast JSON file again. Now it's real important that when you hit export, it doesn't add a 1, so delete the other download of that JSON file on your computer, so that way it doesn't mess anything up. But all you have to do is take that file. We're going to go in here to our Dropbox where it is, and we're just going to drag it, drop it, and that auto just updates that current link that we have already done. So let's go ahead and test to see if that worked. So here we are back on WebRcade's main site. I'm going to click play. And it auto loads the last feed that you had done. So just to make sure, here is our linked one. Hit load. And we can see the Pokemon ROM hacks right here. So hit select. There's our 2 games. Another little neat thing that you can do, if you want to bookmark your specific arcade into your browser, all you have to do is add a / feed equals, and then you just paste in your feed URL. So as you see here, here's ours. It's the http / tiny.cc / modern arcade. We do that, and it will auto connect to our specific feed here that we're specifying, and we can bookmark that page and save it for later. Just kind of handy, so you don't have to go to the WebRcade main address, then play, and then load in. It just auto kicks you in. You're ready to go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think of the new Modern Broadcast. It was made by a good friend of mine, RinZombie. Be sure to check out their Twitter, linked in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. Take care.